Hey. Yeah, I'll say it first. Hey, how are you?
Hey, you're supposed to just come right in. So now they're gonna laugh at this.
Oh man, now I did not know that.
That's what we did last time. Oh my goodness.
Look, look, y'all. She trying to play me, but and action. Look, it's Malcolm X's birthday, and we're showing up unapologetic, fully, and I got something to say. Do you got
Uh,
something to say, Renika?
I always got something to say.
All
And
right.
welcome back to another episode of the Please Do Tell podcast. I'm your homegirl, Ronika, and I have the privilege every week to be with.
It's me, it's Jeffrey. She tries to throw these monkey wrenches at me. Look, but I was ready. I was like, take two, let's go, take two, take two. Look, and then you mentioned talking about last week. Last week we did the Dear Mama episode. So no, I didn't start with an intro last week.
No, it was the week before that.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I
That's
shouldn't
right. And then all of a sudden
have.
you looking at me like, perform, perform.
Y'all, if you don't go back to the very beginning, we have a whole debate going because I swear Jeffrey did not say thespian.
Man, I said one of the words.
Just let the record show.
Look, my
What?
people and look, it zoomed right in on you too.
Every tooth. I got him. I
Yeah,
got him.
yeah,
Okay.
look. There's feelings in them, enamels.
I did the Wendy Williams. I got everything right. Like, oh, no, I got lipstick on my teeth. Great. Uh,
Uh,
you
yeah.
all here coming in hot and hard. Hard and
Right,
hot.
right,
Yep.
right, right.
All
Pause,
right.
please.
Right.
And hard. Where is we at tonight, We look we came in soft for a couple weeks, then all of a sudden, boy, you were you
We did.
you like NASA, you're back. She's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you all welcome back. I listen, if you have not watched, if this is your first time, welcome. Welcome.
God damn it, she said welcome.
Oh, I am encouraging you to go back and check out the previous episode of Dear Mama. It is a gift that just keeps on giving. Jeffrey, thank you for being vulnerable, for sharing Marilyn Elaine Booker with us. Demita, which is a heartbeat. That's a whole new thing. If you really are new here, my best friends are called heartbeats.
Boom,
Jeffrey
boom,
and I have
boom,
been
boom.
friends. Jeffrey and I have been friends since preschool, but our families go way, 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 way back. And Demita was saying that she had listened to the episode and she just said, "Oh my goodness, it was really good." She said, "It was so many things about your mom that she had learned in that episode." And we got to talking about a little bit what you said is that I learned so much about my mom through other people. She was telling me other relationships that she also knew that your mom had with people. So I was like, listen, you're going to continue to hear stories upon stories. And I absolutely love it. So thank you and kudos for an excellent episode.
Man, no worries, no worries. I appreciate the space. Actually giving me, yeah, the space. Outside of on a private, this is the first time like publicly, talking
Mhm,
about my mother. So, and then like it was like a give her flowers moment for Mother's Day.
mhm, mhm,
And so I was grateful that people wanted to listen, but it was actually for individuals who have lost their mothers as well, because you get the space too. You got opportunity to hear about my mother, but my mother would be ready to listen about your mother. So
mhm,
use
mhm.
it for what it is and for what it's worth. Thank you for everybody that reached out. I had another few random stories of people I didn't even know. As one I told Ronnika, I don't even know who that person is, you know? But I love absorbing it because it's like going to, the gas station. It's a refill, of the refill of love, from my mother, even though, she's an ancestor now, but, still able to take care of her baby. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, craziness, craziness. So, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and, let's move on, you know?
All right.
Yep.
So we know that today this episode is premiering on Malcolm X's birthday, which we also call it Malcolm X Day.
Come on now.
And but we've been in our feelings for a few weeks. So today we finna get out our feelings and in our bag. Okay. We know that we are still in the month of Mental Health Awareness Month. If you're looking for something to watch or even something to read, the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated chapter of the Ben Harbor St. Joseph Alumni chapter did a webinar with Dr. Bernice Patterson, and Dr. Bernice Patterson has actually been on this podcast and
Sweet.
phenomenal, like phenomenal. So if you want something to go back and watch, and then especially during Mental Health Awareness Month, definitely go check that out. It was, oh, I was like, "Nah, she talking about me. I ain't told her
Where
nothing. She talking about me."
where's she originally from?
So she's originally from Buchanan, Michigan. Her mother was
Okay.
the first Black mayor of Buchanan. Her mother is also,
Wow.
she said her mother became an ancestor 16 years ago. So in 2010. Yeah, I believe she was in office when she became an ancestor.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
first Black mayor of Buchanan is her mother.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Pioneer.
Yes.
Congratulations, pioneer.
Yes,
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 yes, yes.
yeah, so
Maybe
she
not the mayor now, but you're a pioneer,
mhm,
There was children that said, "Hey," I remember as a kid, our first Black female mayor, which was Emma Hull,
and oh,
you
yep,
know? Yeah, it was
yep.
a big to do, and then she got reelected, so, yeah, thank
Woo, so yeah, it's, we're still talking about it, we're just trying to work through it, and, we're gonna just power through it. So, um,
Malcolm.
go
Look,
ahead.
we talking about Malcolm now, I
Jeffrey done piped up.
yeah,
I
yeah, like I said in the intro, unapologetic, be yourself, that's when I think of Malcolm X, which is, today is his birthday, uh,
mhm,
May 19th. I don't think I finished college without understanding the plight of the African American experience through Malcolm X.
mhm,
Like, whether it was reading his autobiography, a lot of people seen this movie,
mhm,
uh, his readings, his teachings, uh, his religious beliefs, the organization he created after the pre-Mecca, the post-Mecca, you know, um, the kid that grew up in his teenage years in Boston. I mean, it's so much, and this guy, he became an ancestor under 40,
mhm.
and they have so much of an impact on a culture, on a people, on a religion. I think when I read our notes saying that it was gonna be Malcolm X, I was like, "Okay, alright,
Yeah.
let me make sure," you know?
Let me lean in just a little bit.
Yes.
So has it been 100 years? Would he been turning 100 this year?
Malcolm, we can go Malcolm would've turned 101 because actually I do remember that because my grandmother was born in 1925 too. So,
Okay.
he was born in 1925, but he became an ancestor in 1965 before his 40th birthday.
Mhm. So do you remember who introduced you to Malcolm X?
Um, yeah, I would say, my family, my mother and my grandmother. In the Black community during my era of the '80s, um, I remember Jesse Jackson
Mhm.
as kind of being the quasi leader of Black America. He ran for president in '84 and '88. However, prior to that, our leaders were assassinated, whether it was Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, or, Malcolm X. So, you had a community that was still mourning for a couple decades on who was gonna be a leader, and
Mhm.
so it kinda, like, split. Like, you had your Christians supporting your Christian blacks supporting MLK, and
Mhm.
then you had your, I would say, more or less non-Christian blacks supporting Malcolm X. Because I don't wanna just say all Muslim, or Nation of Islam, I don't wanna get into, the semantics. I just think that it was just I remember being a kid and hearing people in my family that did not support Malcolm X only because of his religious belief.
Mhm. Mhm.
They
Mhm.
believed in empowerment and equality, equity when it comes to the races. However, um, they just couldn't, sign up for Christianity.
I think for me,
Long answer. My
no.
bad. Well, I didn't wanna miss anything with
I know,
Malcolm.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
That's why I'm just like, kickstands.
yeah,
That is.
yeah.
I was introduced that I remember, my dad's yes, on both sides. My dad's youngest brother, my Uncle Lester, who is also an ancestor, he, um, he was Nation of Islam. I remember him being at my granny's house and trying to make me try bean pie, and I heard bean and I didn't wanna hear nothing else. I said, "What is a bean doing in a pie?" "It's gonna taste like sweet potato pie." I was like, "Mm-mm." Now, Uncle Lester was the big kid, and he didn't have any children that we know. Big kid, loved having his nieces and nephews around. Um, I'm gonna say he was the original Rick Ross. Um, if
Very
you
original.
know. Um,
But he sounded like he turned his life around.
so like, so, um, I was introduced to Malcolm X through my Uncle Lester, and then, Spike Lee's Malcolm X came out, and it was just like, wow. So I remember being young and watching that whole movie. As long as it is, I wanted to see it. Bless you. I wanted to see it. So that's how
I
I
made the bless your face before you get blessed.
yeah, I was like, "Woo." Amen.
It's coming too.
Amen. So my question to you before we do move on is if he were alive today, what would he be talking about and what would have his attention?
I think that, I mean, it'll be so much. I mean, whether it was, Gaza, a couple years ago, or just even the voters' right, you know? I think that, um, I think that you would hear Malcolm say that ownership amongst your own may not have been the wrong direction to go into. I had an opportunity to listen to this, pastor on Instagram over the weekend. It talks about that maybe integration, you know it can be debated now, especially when you see a government moving in to a segregationist direction like it was like 100 years ago. Like, what are you doing? So I think that his message today it's echoing the same. Actually, I think that his army would be mass because of it. You know, because to say that you didn't take my direction, 60 years ago, and here we are 60 years later, and not only are you regress, but you're even going further in the yeah, you would I think that you would have people standing on shoulders to see them.
I agree. Now, with this episode, we know that we are going to be transitioning from the spring to summer. So, we're also going to be throwing in some stories about summer is the culture. Because I don't know if y'all remember that for our new homies, Jeffrey and I have been doing the podcast. It'll be coming up on a year
For real?
together.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. That year went by, and,
Time,
only
f-
thing it tells me you said what?
time flies when you're telling good stories.
Okay, I'll keep my quote to myself then.
Oh, what were you finna say?
Only way that I noticed the difference is the gray on my beard from the first video. I didn't have any. Then all of a sudden now, I've been telling all these stories like a
Oh, that's first
grandpa.
and
That now it's like, man, it's been a lot going on. Been a
the
lot going on.
is pushing through.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's
Some
knowledge, it's wealth, it's great.
okay, I'm just
Uh-huh.
saying. Act like you know, Bluck, what you didn't heard. So we know that summer is the culture, and we know that we believe in cookouts, family reunions, block parties, and freedom. So what does perfect summer day look like? Be specific.
Well, I like to barbecue,
Oh,
so I definitely
love
have to get up
right.
early, and, like, I could plan a whole day, don't tell me to get specific, but, I'm gonna get up a little bit early, and then, I gotta walk my dog, because she ready too, and then you get up and season that meat, and then let it sit around for maybe an hour or 2. By that time, you can start getting your grill together, just play around with it, hope that the, sun stays up and it don't get too hot too quick, and then, put that meat on that grill, get it together, but then now what I'm gonna do this year, and then in addition to, is I'm gonna be more outside this year and, like, using green space. Uh,
Mm,
I you know, I only live, like, 10-minute walk from Central Park, so I'm gonna start using
right.
even more of the parks. I heard back at home, Hall Park is now available basketball court,
Mhm.
or if you're listening, go outside, it's cheaper. They try to tell us that every time that you go outside, it's expensive. No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
If you go outside and you pre-plan, pack you lunches. I know it may seem lame, sound lame, but realistically, saving is the game. Use this spring and summer. Go outside. You can sit outside. People will be there. Watch them. Look
Mhm.
at the grass. Like, you can still be on your phone.
I love
You know
to
what I'm saying? Even if you want, you could great picture shots. The sun, when it pop on your face, post that picture. I'm telling you, that's what it's about. Get outside. So that's what my perfect summer day. Prep in the morning, get outside, at least by 2, 3 o'clock. By 3, 4 o'clock. You gotta be outside at the park. If not, then it's way too many people. You may have missed the good sunlight on your face. So, yeah.
I had someone tell me just this past week, um, they were like, "I wanna go," 'cause, you all know I work with young people. "I wanna go to New York." I said, "Ooh, summertime in New York is a
Mhm. Yeah.
go to. I wanna go too."
You're just chilling on the block. I was outside last summer. Sure was, but I was like, "This summer, I wanna do more park because you can create it." I was,
Yeah.
a couple years ago, I'll never forget, I was walked into Central Park, and, if you know Central Park, but if you don't, Central Park is, like, from 59th Street to 110th. So it's basically, what, 50 blocks, 60 blocks. So from that standpoint, it's nothing but green space. Ronika, one time I walked around, they was, "Oh, we're gonna go to the park, hang out for the day," we ain't really did that, the park for one day,
Yes,
maybe, you know
yes,
what I'm saying?
maybe.
And
Yeah.
typically, if I'm at the park, I'm playing sport, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's how I grew up. Well, went around the corner, Ronika, I would not lie to you. It probably was 5,000 people just, like, posted in their own little spaces in the park, doing their own thing. Whether it's people was throwing a frisbee, some people throwing a football, just chilling out, hanging out, playing their own music. It was like I was like, "Is this Woodstock?"
So you have to get there early.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, 'cause it's so many people, so that's why I was like, by 3 or 4, you gotta find a space. But,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. Get there early, get that good sun. Look, as you get older, fellow listeners, the earlier you get up, the more you accomplish.
Mm.
It You just feel better, you know?
And, we out here vitamin D deficient, so we need all the vitamin D we can get.
So my doctor told me I was vitamin D deficient. This sidebar, this is not a violation of HIPAA, y'all, because 'cause I'm voluntarily telling y'all this. And so just to put it out here. My doctor told me, he was like, yeah, let me test you and see, because they say, as Renika was just saying, they say black people are still deficient of vitamin D." He's
Yeah.
like, "How am I deficient of vitamin D with all this brown, black skin?" You know what I mean? They test me between 0 and 20, mine was, like, at a 7. It was real low, enough they was like, "We gonna put you on pills." Well, as soon as they said that, I was like, I don't even like aspirin." I got rid of the chewables at
Who
6.
was raised by a boomer or previous generation? Because that's what all I take is a children's aspirin. What? You ain't no
Look,
kid?
I got rid of children aspirin at 6. I was like, "I don't need no aspirin, I'm tough," but I tell you one thing, 2 weeks later, I was in California. Uh, I got that vitamin D, 107, 105, 103, that was the temperature. Definitely, because your body is all you got.
Mhm.
So you get yourself outside this summer, y'all. It's important, and start it now. It's already summer starts in 5 weeks. Start it. Let's go. Let's get outside. Get out.
Well, speaking of outside, our one of our favorite segments that I know Jeffrey and I have not well, Jeffrey probably has, but I haven't, because it's at the playground.
You know
Playground.
Oh, yeah.
No? Okay, that's fine.
No, no,
What?
no. She
But
tried to call me out. It was like, "Oh,
summer,
I
y'all,
know
hot
he got
summer.
it." No, you knew I ain't have it. You know I ain't have it. Don't take the high road. Yo, that's what a microaggression looks like in a meeting.
Take away you golden platinum chains, but take me back to a summer, not the
Yeah.
whole summer.
Mhm.
One specific day, one specific feeling. What was it? So we finna get into the playground.
Ooh.
Jeffrey, I thought today, and I would love to run into him somewhere. So I'm like, if you are a listener, if you are a homie, and you know this person, put him in my path. Bruce Jackson. I will never forget, we were at camp, and I had this cute I loved a good skirt. Loved a good skirt. We already said skirt in the front, shorts in the back, so it was like a party.
Mm-mm.
So,
Mm-mm.
I had a black skirt and a black and white zip-up shirt. I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, that happened?" We were at the same camp, Jeffrey and I were at the same camp, the same one with Mrs. Rockette. Mose walked up to me and he said, "Some," and then unzipped my shirt. He was mortified because he said, "You don't have on an undershirt." I was like, "No, why do I have on an undershirt?"
Mm-mm.
He was like, "Oh my god, why are you trying to cover me up?" But I want to see him so bad to remind him of that moment.
Mm-mm.
I'm glad it wasn't a lot of people around. Probably like three of us right there. He said something, like boys, zip. I said, "Wait a minute."
How old were we during that
Well,
period?
I was going into the seventh grade. You were going into the eighth,
How old was Mo?
going in probably to the 10th, ninth or 10th. Wait, no, probably not because he's 2 years. Yeah, ninth grade.
You look fast to be with them ninth graders, wasn't you?
I know
You know
you
that
ain't.
old school used to always blame the girl. They always blame the girl. They always blame the girl.
That is accurate. Always blame the girl. That shirt was zipped up to my neck.
But what was you doing around that man in his face?
We talk. See,
See?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you're right. This is triggering. Ugh.
I thought we supposed to keep it light.
Oof, that's what the Nipsey movement is for. Goodness.
Mm-mm.
Never mind. Mose was not a part of the Me Too movement. Mose was from even one of the last memories that I have of interacting with him. Great guy. Great guy. Like great guy. But yeah, he was spooked out and so was I.
Not on look, great guy, but just not on day one. He was testing the boundaries on day one,
And he was protecting me for as long as he's around me, from middle school. Well, they call it middle school. We call it junior high. From junior high to high school. I if he was around, I had to worry about nothing. Him and Jeff Coleman, I had to worry about
I remember
nothing.
Tall Jeff, yeah.
Neither one I had to worry about Nathaniel. They
I see him
had
every
my
once
back.
in a while on, Facebook.
Oh, I love it's always love.
Mhm.
It's love for Jeff, also known as Highland Jeff. Alright, so let's get into these, so we're finna do a little back and forth for the
Okay.
beginning now, okay?
Alright,
I'm gonna go
alright.
first. Okay. The summer you felt the most free, what was happening?
The summer after high school, it's chaos. It's chaos, it's chaos and conclusion.
Ooh.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Mm,
the summer after high school, it's chaos and conclusion. The chaos is, the chaos for me was, my mom wouldn't let me out like that. Then all of a sudden I had a good curfew. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Weekend I
mhm,
can come in at 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like I can come in at 2. Well, actually it was 12. And then I had to lobby, also known as miss it over and over, and then I got it to 2 o'clock. Uh, but yeah, 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 look, after a while, you be like, "Hey, which one you gonna do?" And look, it is what it is. I'm gonna miss it. But what was the, summer for you?
let's see. I think it would also be after high school. Yeah. After high school. Did I feel most free though? Maybe not. No, no, because Millie wasn't playing that midnight. I was like, dang, I just graduated right midnight. I know other people that don't even go home, but thank God for boundaries. The most free, and I didn't really know what was going on, but it was the same summer that I'm talking about with, camps, but my friend Brandon was also home that summer, and my mom said that she remembers me saying, "Man, this has been the best summer ever," and
Wow,
my parents were separating, like, they weren't under the same roof. So, yeah, for me to come in and be like, "Man, this has been the best summer ever," because she found a way to distract me when everything else I felt like was probably crumbling. I didn't see it.
you got out of them adult faces
Okay.
with
I was in
your
a child's
with your
place.
nosy self.
In a child's place.
Mm-mm.
Thank you. Okay. The summer something clicked about who you were, your style, your voice, your people.
Mm, would just take it another step forward. I would say, maybe like my 3rd year of college. Like the first 2 years, I end up coming back home. Shout out to the courthouse who used to let me cut their grass and they
You
hedges. I did it. Yep, just wave at everybody. I love that job. It taught me so much. Taught me so much. But after me and my mom went back and forth about that curfew thing, I was like, "I ain't coming back home this next year," and so that following year, I end up, uh I found my people, you know, and what I mean by that as in got my first apartment, I found my people, like, who gonna pay these bills with me?
Yeah.
And they don't and we're not even kin,
Mhm.
then you start to really. You got friends, but then some friends will separate from you just because they don't like what direction you going in. They don't like because you going to Walmart versus going to Target. Those type of friends. But then you have the next level is the ones that say, if you don't do what you supposed to do, then I can't be here. So now they hold you really accountable. So that was the summer when, something clicked. Like, these are my people, like,
Mhm.
and I learned how to weed out people that aren't my.
Oh my gosh, now that I see this next question, I was like, or next prompt, I should have answered that a little bit differently. So I may switch it up for the next one.
Boy.
The
See, I
song,
told y'all, she had me on the edge of my seat.
I'm just saying, because
Mhm.
the song that was playing that summer on repeat and what it meant, I was like, I don't remember no song that was playing. But if I go back to our original prompt of the summer you felt the most free, what was happening, it had to have been when I got my license.
Continue. Miss License.
Got my license, and the song that stayed on repeat because my dad until I got my own car, my dad let me drive his Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, and it was Joe's, album, My Name is Joe
Classic. Classic.
563. Um,
Classic.
I had no business listening to Somebody's Gotta Be on Top, but when I say I was riding the city down in on with that song in that car. It was a V8. If you know, you know. Like, it wasn't like, a 4-cylinder or anything like that. So, was it a V8 or was it V6? Is there a V6?
Nah,
V6?
don't come out here hating on the V4s, and you don't
Okay.
even know if you got a V6
I
or
had a
8.
V4 in my Escort.
And, like, come on now. Y'all hear her?
I
You
just know
see
that
you
when
see
that
how
when
how
you
the
a little bit, it wasn't I knew that my car
so
had
don't
a
stunt. Don't stunt. Don't come
I
out here.
still got my daddy's Cutlass Supreme, and you just tap and you just go. But anywho,
Let's get back to this My Name Is
I
Joe.
know my name is Joe. 563. That was a vibe. It was a moment. I was in my car. Yes, I checked in. It was a time where we didn't have, well, okay. I didn't have a cell phone. So wherever I got, the location that I got to, I had to call my mom or my dad and let them know that I had made it there safely. Or even when I was coming home, like, hey, I'm still at such and such house. I'm going to be coming home in the next 10, 15 minutes. Perfect. Great. I mean, lived in a small town, so it should only take your
I
butt.
like those days when you had to call and check in.
I
I
mean,
knew
I didn't
I
yep, I had my own car, so
knew I was a rebel then. Random story with that 563. I had a friend now, he wanted a story. Now this is a good story.
oh, bring it.
So, that Joe album was a banger. If you
Yeah,
know, you know. Like, I
yeah,
wanted to take it
yeah.
over when you were talking, like, for
Like,
real.
bring on Black Music Month because I'm gonna wear that thing out again. It's always one of my choices, but continue.
It would be the one that you just sit in the car with your person and you just listen to it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
that puppy love
That's what
type
it
ish,
was.
that they say,
Mm,
that's what it was. So,
mm.
but it was crazy because my homeboy, he thought he was smooth
Here we
because
go.
I didn't understand the 563. And then one day we were talking and he was like, "You wanna get the
On your
563?"
keypad.
I was like, You said what?"
On your keypad, but continue.
Did not know it. And he was like, "The 563 is Joe." And then I looked because I had just got a cell phone. I looked,
Mhm.
I said, "What?" And then he looked at me, he said, "Better yet, my address is 563." His damn address at his house was 563.
I bet.
I was like, "Yeah, you think you smooth. You think you smooth," shout out to him. I ain't giving his name, but if you know, his address was 563. So, yeah, yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
name is Joe. Yeah, ooh,
yeah. That was a good one. That's a good one.
a time. That's why I was like, "Let me rewind this and go back." Alright.
That My Name Is Joe, it was a time. It was a time, man. I can't lie to you, I still mess with it. What's your favorite track on there?
Somebody's gotta be on top. Cocoa butters, singing like
Oh, hey, okay, that's enough. Censor,
I
censor,
gotta
censor.
on top. You see, I'm like
I'm actually gonna go with for the sake of I'm gonna say Peep Show. So if you know, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on now. Come on now. Anyway, next prompt
Okay,
before we
okay.
get too deep up in here and they gonna have to pay us. Keep talking about this album.
You
Sure.
know the influence of the Black community. We saw power. Alright. Alright. The summer you had a job for the first time and what that felt like.
The courthouse. I said it before.
Mm,
To work at the courthouse, it actually gave me an opportunity. I was driving, like, cause I was playing baseball. So on break, I would go and hit in the baseball cage and then come back to work. I would leave work, then have to come pick up my mom. It was like it gave me independent, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. Yeah.
so this is supposed to be a popcorn back and forth, but
Okay, my bad.
right.
Um, the cookout, the reunion, the block party that you still talk about.
Mm, I should have read this before you read it to me. Which one? I'm going to say the family reunion in Detroit, 2022, and, so that was the one and only one that my cousin Perry was able to attend because he became an ancestor in '24, and, boy, did we have a time that weekend. There was, my cousin Pam hosted, events at her house on Friday, and then, like, a movie night, like, outside with a projector and everything. And then Saturday was the picnic in Belle Isle in Detroit, and then, we did brunch on Sunday, and there's so many different videos that I have of my family saying just, like, how good it was just to see one another. So, yeah, we still talk about that because there was almost a fight at Belle Isle with my uncle and somebody else. So, yeah, it was a time.
Mm-mm. It's nothing like when the family impromptu gotta shake down somebody.
Just
Yeah,
shake it
yeah,
down.
yeah.
So, but yeah, that's one that we still talk about because we think about the people that were there that are no longer here, and how, they even talked about that day and that weekend, how much that, weekend meant to them. So, yeah, it would have to be that one. We still talk about it. Okay. The summer someone said something to you that you've never forgotten, good or hard.
Um, my at my graduation party after college, one of my homeboys, Mr. Johnson, um, my homeboy. father, Mr. Johnson, actually told me, he said, "You're about to start making money. So every paycheck," he said, "You're about to start making money. You don't need to be an old man like me going back to work after so every paycheck, at least you need to put $25 to the side. At least. At least you'll have something, because if you don't put $25, you won't have anything." And I remember him telling me that on the side of the house, at my open house. Sure did. I remember that. That was before, and that was him, but that was before, like, pension. You know, the
Mhm.
factories, there was no pension. It was just more or less you here to work, make cash money, but if you don't put it to the side, we're not gonna help you put it to the side.
Yeah.
So, like, now you have 401(k)s or 403(b)s or,
Mhm.
that. So, okay. What's the summer crush, the summer friendship, or the summer adventure that still makes you smile?
I'm gonna say riding my bike across town, and this was a big thing, y'all. To ride your bike from, like, say, Benton Township into Benton Harbor, city of Benton Harbor, or from Fairplain in Benton Harbor, or which is St. Joseph Township, into city of Benton Harbor, or even just crossing from Benton Township into Fairplain was like, "Whoo, you finna ride them 4 miles?" So I would say that summer that Shantan Clark had me on my bike,
My Shantan clock.
and she said, "We so you riding out?" 'Cause she did it lickety like, it was easy breezy to her. I said, "Oh, so once you get over there, what do you do?" She was like, "I hang out with my family." I said, "Well, let me ask my mom if I can ride my bike across town." But then, you get over there, you get to play, all that, and then you're like, "Damn,
You gotta come back.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back." And, yeah, that was one of those summers that I was like I still smile about that because 'cause I'm like, "Man, we were really riding bikes all over town." Just how that was just such a different time then, because we would be gone all day long. No cell phones, no nothing. You just
But
mashing.
you wouldn't have as many distractions, so you didn't need to contact your kid. Hell, you can have so many distractions and your kid in the other room. Crazy nowadays, you know?
Yeah. So, is there a version of you from one of those summers that you want to bring back or bring forward?
I mean, you can always go back to the ambitious days of where you had everlasting, energy. You would love to bring those days back. I was actually just watching, like, some, young men, play basketball, and this one he was angry, and then all of a sudden, he actually was just, like, jumping up and down. I was like, "That's such a waste of energy." I was like, "That's such a waste of energy," but when you're in that space, when you're 19, you're 17 years old, if you don't waste that energy by doing that, you could get in a lot of trouble. So, understood, understood. So, nah, I don't think I would go back or, obviously you love the energy, but I like the smoothness now.
Hmm,
Yeah.
okay,
You?
okay. So, as we go from, at the playground to, another one of our favorite segments is Foolishness Files. And, I know that we wanted to just kinda also shine a light on those from the community that are just doing great work with the mental health, community and just encouraging us to talk about it, but I wanna say before we even get there is that Jeffrey and I do a late night show on Tuesday.
Mm,
This episode premieres
mm,
on Tuesdays.
mm.
Goodness. So we do a live late night show on Facebook called If You Know, You Know, and you have to be following Jeffrey in order to be a part live, but we do upload the episodes on YouTube. But I'm gonna talk more about what we've been seeing in mental health with people really putting their feet to the fire with calling folks out like, "Oh, you're not a real therapist? Oh, we finna expose you. So if you out there throwing around the title of doctor and you ain't one."
Oh, I just heard this. Just now you just brought this up. I did see this, but I haven't seen the episode yet, you guys. So that I know that they've been Dr. Bryant. I'll just say it. Nobody else has to say it. I'll be the elephant in the room. But it's people are questioning, you know, um, uh credentials. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy.
'Cause girl, where's your degree? But alright. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about that more
Now it's great,
on
I don't mean to interject you, but I did see last week that the governor of Michigan just signed into law that it's more skills based than degree, credential, and etcetera. So we should probably, I know we done dove into foolishness files, but I did just
foolishness.
within a week that, yeah, the governor just signing that. So I know that you just mentioned about that degree, but they just signed in Michigan alone that it ain't that important. So that's
Foolishness fine.
I'm just saying, I
Foolishness
was when I saw it, I was like, "Now that's something that's a topic.
foolishness files.
That's a topic."
'Cause by any means necessary. 'Cause goodness gracious. Foolishness files goes full summer, Malcolm X Day. We are who we are, energy, and we're just gonna lean into it. So are you ready for foolishness files?
Mhm.
Foolishness files. The most, by any means necessary thing you've ever done. Questionable methods, honorable goals.
The most by anything by any means necessary thing that I've done, I was actually in 8th grade. I don't wanna say the most of all, 'cause I'm not gonna unlock every secret unless you tick.
All right, Elmo, let's go.
But no, my first by any means necessary, when I was in 8th grade, they used to have this thing called the list. And what I mean by the list as in teachers would put students' name on a list and it would stop them from doing extracurricular activities. Well, I just so happened, like, overheard, like, a couple teachers saying, "Just put them on the list and then they can't do certain things." When I heard that, mm, my friend Helen Mitchell and myself, it was the first time that we organized. We didn't know what we wanted to do, and shout out to Miss Wilhite. I love her so much.
I do too. I do too.
Miss Wilhite, my 7th and 8th grade counselor, she said to me, she said, "Well, it's something that y'all can do about it." And when she told us, she kinda, like, helped us to organize, and the day that they dropped the list, we had, like, the kids was coming in, well, we were coming in because I was a kid. We were coming in, but we were passing out sheets of paper saying, "We protest the list," and kids was coming in there, and then, like, the hood kids was coming in there with the list. It was chaos. I tell you one thing, within a week, the list didn't exist anymore. I tell you that. So that was by any means we got in trouble, but they ain't, like, suspended. My mom wasn't gonna allow that. So I wouldn't worry about that, 'cause we just fighting for our rights. But yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is not a back and forth, so we both answer. Okay, okay.
We do?
Yeah,
Okay,
if
so
it
what's your by any means necessary? Since you tried to make me into this thug in 8th grade.
so mine came in ninth grade. I know I've talked about it before, but I'm finna remind y'all, cause Angela Jones reminded me, think maybe it was a week or 2 ago? Going into ninth grade, it's a little intimidating. You are fresh meat. You are not even close to being upperclassman. You are the new kid on the block. So what did we do? We said, "Listen, we finna come in with a bang." Juveniles, huh? It just come out.
Huh?
Yeah, it just come out, and a group of us decided that we were going to create our we had the Tribe 7, you had, what was the other one? Tribe 7 and Tank Dogs that were the groups, the upperclassmen groups in high school. So there was
You had
cute
boys?
boys, cute nerdy girls that decided that we were going to be no talent sailors, like No
I
Limit Sailor.
remember the No Talent Sailor.
No talent, no talent, no talent, no talent sailors. So we had name
Terrible.
badges and everything. We even switched up huh we did you be tugging, huh? You were no talent sailor, huh? Like we had a whole song.
Mhm.
I thought I recited on this podcast before, but if I have not, I'm gonna find the lyrics and recite it on this podcast. So when Angela went to go see Juvenile a couple weeks ago, she said, "Girl, all I could think about is you turning set it off into a gospel song." I was like, "Whoa, day, what's up? Whoa, day, what's up? Hey, what's up? Set it off in this mother, whoa, day, what's up?" She said, to this day, that still rings in my head. So my next day, I was like, "You won't forget."
Not "Whoa, they, what's up?"
Whoa, day, what's up? Whoa, day, what's up? She said, "You turn that into a gospel song. Set it off in this mother, whoa, day, what's up?
Set it off in this mother.
Mother." Yeah.
You waiting on the mother's board to stand up?
Oh,
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
it's too much, it's too much.
Mm-mm. What's a summer plan that was ambitious on paper and completely fell apart in execution?
Oof. Road trips. I just thought that one of those summers, that road trip was gonna be further than Chicago, Illinois. So on the paper, I was like, "Oh, we are going south. I'm gonna see my people." My dad was like, "We're going to Robbins." Boy, did that Robbins, Illinois, if you don't know. Robbins, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago.
He said,
On
"We're gonna
paper,
keep it simple and know where I'm at."
but okay, that's in that song.
That's it, and that's
"We don't
all.
need no green book. We stopping right here." I said, "Damn, we going to Robbins?" Okay, so yeah. What about you?
Oh, a summer plan that's ambitious on paper. Well, I don't do plans, so I didn't really read the paper.
Okay.
Like so I can't even give you one to be honest with you. When I read it, I was like, I don't think that one's gonna fit for me. Um, what's a cookout moment that went left for you and became the story everyone still tells?
Jeffrey still tells the story about the cookout of 2020. Was that 20? Yeah, that was 2020. Or was it
Well, it
2021?
sounds like to me nobody tells it better than you. So what did you do?
I was an unhappy person, and I was just biting off the heads of all my friends, one in particular, and we didn't talk for a while. Everybody watching me like, "Whew, you are a bit much." I was a bit much. I was not a happy person during that time. So when I say I was going for the jugular every chance I got, I had to eat crow and apologize because I was nasty.
Y'all,
Nasty.
when I say to the jugular, when Renika say to the jugular, I was like, "Hey, dog, hey, let's run to the stove. Like, let me just get you out of here. Like, she's shooting at you, like she's swinging for the fence publicly, publicly. And I
No
can
reason.
understand if you want to get ignorant too, but you know, I love her, so we can't like let me get you up out of here before war, So no, no.
It was like,
It
that's
was
what
definitely one of those moments. I remember going to the
yeah,
store,
it
me
was
and him was talking. all I could do was just shake my head the whole time in the car. Like I don't even know her.
Yeah,
I don't
I
even
didn't know
know her.
myself. I
Yeah.
didn't know myself.
Yeah,
I
that was a
said,
rough
"Lord, don't ever let me be in a situation like that again, ever,
man, that was a bad
ever."
cookout moment. It's
That was bad. That was
woo,
bad.
yeeks.
Yep, that was bad.
Mm,
But
mm.
y'all, they still listen, they remind me of it every chance they get. Like, "Oh, you don't think she real cool? Don't piss her off. Don't piss her off."
I've seen her. I've seen her nail him from 100 meters and beyond. Man, that is
Woo!
stone cold. But yeah,
Now y'all think Jeffrey? Because listen, sometimes you have to be like, "Jeffrey, I need you to be on your best behavior." That should have been one of those with, like, right. I remember Chantel was like, "You alright?" She brought me and I was like, "You alright?"
not you. All right.
Like, whatever, you cool? You cool? You all seem cool. So, thank you for good friendships, for friendships that are, like, friends that are really like family, that are family, because they had to tell me, like, "Listen, you out of pocket."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What they say in the church. Thank God for friendships that are steadfast. 'Cause I know I'd had to question a few people, for that one, yeah. But anyway.
Well, do I just need to move on to the next one?
Yeah, yes,
Or
yes.
just do back and forth after that? Okay.
Eh,
Something you tried to do to embrace your culture that was just slightly that was just slightly off.
dance. Yeah, I can't dance,
No,
everybody.
no,
Surprise!
no, pass. Y'all don't ask me for no story because I didn't seen it.
Yeah, yeah. It's nothing to be played with.
I seen Jeffrey trying to handle a big ass, and it was like, "Just sit down.
Look,
Sit
look,
down."
look, look, and I, tried out for drum major. That's all I'm gonna say. So, if somebody wanna know my most embarrassing story, it's probably, my band teacher in 11th grade.
Can we have Troy Jones to the floor, please? Troy Jones
I
to the floor.
look, him and, rest in peace, Miss Doan, I know when I walked out of there, I know that they laughed up a storm. My heart was bumping through my chest, and I didn't have look, all I'm gonna say is this, I did a dance routine off of Donnell Jones' "Girl, You Know What's Up." Alright? So you can play around with it, do whatever in your mind. When I walked out of there, I never thought about that routine again. Bless y'all. Y'all can have that one. On to the next question.
The boldest thing you've ever said out loud that you can't believe came out of your mouth and it worked.
I was working I got a story. Look, it was so many that popped in my head right then. I was working at, a banking institution, and I was doing collections, and I wasn't as I I wasn't as good, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I wanted to fight for the consumer because why are these interest rates so high? How did you go from a minimum payment to penalty pricing? Nobody tells you about penalty pricing.
Yeah.
So my boss pulled me in, was like, hey, you got to get these numbers up. You got to get these calls. So I come up with this slogan that I would tell people in the morning time when I would call them on the dollar.
Oh my god.
They was, "Oh, I can't do it." I was like, "Well, I'm trying to help you help me help you." And I would say eighty
Stop.
eighty percent of the time people would pay. I would say, "I'm just trying to help you help me help you." And finally this one guy said, Now, what the hell does that even mean? I was like, the gig's up.
Fire me now. I'm
The
done.
gig's up. The gig's up. Oh, what's a summer fashion choice you made with full confidence that you now have questions about?
I don't know, I've always been that girl. So,
Don't put her in blue though. I've never seen her in blue, y'all, ever. Never. Oh, no, oh, I forgot we did work together. We did have blue on. Never mind. Correct it.
yeah,
Correct it.
thank
Look,
you.
yank him out.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this because I just be looking at y'all like, and this funeral was actually in the summer, so I guess this works. And it was blue. The color was shades of blue. I want black folks to kind of bury royal blue because I'm sick of it.
Oh, damn.
I'm sick of it. Shout out to I know my cousins love royal blue. I feel like every time they have an event, they want royal blue. And if we're being real honest, if you ask any ISOM about blue, they'll tell you about blue. But find myself a lot of times when there's a royal blue request, there's a hint of royal blue, but I'm not wearing it.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, I mean, full confidence walking in not wearing that royal blue because I ain't wearing it. So
I'm
y'all can
not
have all the questions you want, but I ain't wearing it.
I'm with you, actually. That's why we're friends. I don't believe in uniform. Like, I've actually been to a funeral and was not in uniform with the family recently. So, that's not what I wanted to wear, you know? Yeah. I was just like,
Was it royal blue? Why do we love royal blue? I just wanna
it
know,
wasn't
like,
royal blue.
we love royal blue.
It was actually, dark blue and orange. It was the Bears color. It was my uncle's, funeral that
Mm,
passed away a couple years ago. They
yeah,
wanted everybody in, like, Chicago Bears. Well, I don't like the Bears like that. So I was not wearing no Bears garb. I know it's for my uncle, but I did not wear no Bears garb. You know I'm a 49er fan. But I do like now the Bears like became because I didn't, Bears became like my second best team in the
mm.
NFC now. Because this is my uncle, it's my favorite uncle, but I was not wearing Bears. And you go back and look at those pictures, I was the only one in all black.
Cooper, welcome. How you
I was
doing?
the only one in all black.
It's like, "No." My mom be like, "Dang, it's a dress code for a funeral." Like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
wasn't into that. Didn't want to do that.
obliged by it." 'Cause, if you give me shades of stuff, then yes, but if you tell me just to stick with a royal something, when I hear royal anything, I'm like,
The church said, "Come as you are." That
"Yeah."
person do not even know that you're there. So what are we putting all this uniforms on? In my opinion. I don't wanna press nobody that has to go through something that's
Yeah,
devastating. Now all of a sudden you're putting pressure on them to go out and go get the nah, come as you are.
yeah. Alright. So, now, guys, we're gonna if you wanna slide in those DMs, we encourage you to, because you definitely did last week. The most we did that and we don't regret it moment. Listen, you all just slide in those DMs, or you can also email your responses to please do tell podcast at gmail.com, and we will read your responses. So what you got to say?
But just thinking about the episode, it was pretty cool, you know, this month is interesting because there's so many transitions, you know what I'm like mental health, Mother's Day, blooms, gardens. I was talking to one of my old bosses and she was like, "You got like 11, 12 things in our garden this year." I said, "Lord, that's just a lot," You know,
Yeah.
I surely want a plate when
Mhm.
I come and visit. So, it's just a lot, you know. I was just reflecting on the episode, enjoying myself.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, Jeffrey, as Cooper gets himself situated in his bed, we're learning, we're growing. Guess what? Growth.
It's us?
We're now on rapid fire.
Man.
You know what rapid fire is all about? Pew, pew,
Phew.
pew.
Look, don't say that. This is leaked information. But, this past week, I saw people shooting right outside of the house. Recorded it. Sure did.
What?
DM me for the highlights. I'll send it to you. Sure will. Yeah, yeah. Broad open daylight. It was, a Saturday, 3, 4 o'clock. Popped up, heard it, look, see people running with guns. Crazy.
And Jeffrey want me to move there?
Come through.
Mm.
They doing that everywhere.
All right. Rapid.
If you got God with you, you ain't worried about nothing like that. He had me in the house. He said, "Listen,
Uh-huh.
see, and sit."
Mm.
Boom.
Amen.
Yeah. Now rapid the fire.
Ooh, now you talking about cookout or sit down restaurant. What you doing? Cookout or sit down restaurant this summer?
Definitely a cookout.
Mm,
Yeah, you know, I'm preaching outside.
okay.
What's the best summer song of all time?
I already said it earlier. Somebody's gotta be on top. Oh, no, no, no. Sorry, 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 sorry. It was and I don't know why. Oochie wally wally, oochie bang bang, oochie wally wally, oochie bang bang, oochie
That's a
wally,
good summer song. Yeah.
oochie bang
I'm gonna do beach because the weather is much warmer. For the if you wanna be on the beach, the weather's warm enough, you can get in the water. You can do that all day. What's one word that describes who you are? No, excuse me. Alright, let me get my glasses on. Something you are doing this summer.
Let's see. Purging that basement. No excuses. Purging the basement. Come one, come all. Come holler at your girl. But that thing is getting cleared out. All right, one word that describes who you are right now and you're proud of it.
I just took a strengths test. One of the words was command.
Mm.
I like it, and I'm
Okay.
proud of it. Yeah.
Okay.
If Malcolm X had a podcast, what would he call it?
Let's see. The ballad or the bullet?
Perfect. You hit that out of the that was pretty good because I wanted to talk about that earlier in the early session. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Mm-mm.
The thing you know about yourself now that you wish you'd known at 20. Ooh.
You are gonna get stiff. It's inevitable, dog.
That stuff ain't really winding up like you used to for my break dance. You right.
It's inevitable. Damn.
Yeah. Here we
Okay,
are.
summer 2026. Rate it before it even starts. What's your prediction?
I'm just gonna say, growth. I know a lot of people are just thinking about like, oh, the garden. No, I'm thinking about growth, like even with this podcast, spiritually, just everything. Just growth. All around, just growth. Growth. That's the prediction. Growing. We just growing. We growing in a good way. Like our harvest is here. We're growing.
We be growing.
We be growing.
Hey.
You all, we started this month with Cinco de Mayo and, just talking about just joy and healing, um, to dear mama and through grief and tribute and things that took courage to say. And today we are closing with a celebration, but that's not an accident. So that's the whole point of a lot of stories that we share with you. Even when I talk about, even in my work, when you during the grief journey, like grief and joy can coexist at the same time. You would see a lot of that in the Dear Mama episode and even in the episodes going forward. Like, you heard me say, like, yeah, I turned up a little bit, but then there was joy that comes right after that. So, mental health, we're not just the hard days, it's the full range and just the grief that goes with that and just finding those special moments is like cookout with friends. So I am just thankful to even reflect on a lot of those stories and memories and encouraged to do more and make more.
Get outside. Yeah,
Get outside.
it's important. Oops.
So, what are we carrying out of Mental Health Month into this new year? I know we'll have one more episode this month before we totally close out Mental Health Awareness Month. But it's just been really good to reflect and just kind of talk about our journeys with mental health and encouraging you all to reflect on it as well.
It's
Um,
it it's been pretty good because even, like, from friends that listen to the podcast, sharing their stories, um, what sharing their stories,
mhm,
whether it's they're coming to me and say, "Hey, I used to just bottle it in,
mhm,
now I feel a little more comfortable, even, just seeing what you guys are doing makes me more comfortable in the space. It don't make me want to put a microphone in front of me, but it makes me want to talk to someone
mhm,
about my experience. And now I feel better. I feel relieved. I feel, so knowing that, not only would it just be a mental health month, knowing that as an individual, it's what makes me be like, "Really go alright, what we doing this week?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got to run a show. We got the agenda ready. Yeah, he was
we
on me.
ready. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Look, I don't try to be late no more or anything, because it's important, you don't know your impact, and it don't take much on your behalf but your experience.
mhm. Woo! So, you all, we hope that something resonated with you in this conversation that Jeffrey and I had in this episode, that you will continue it, moving into the summer. And like I say, our DMs is open. So it's the email address that I gave you before. That's always in the show notes. Please do tell podcast at gmail.com. But Jeffrey,
Now you know where you can find me.
you said like, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Mr. Fantastic World at MrFantasticWorld. That's on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook, by my first and last name, or you can find us on the If You Know late night show on Thursday nights, 10:15 p.m. on Facebook. If you cannot access it, then you need to become a friend with Ronika, and if you cannot, then you need to become a friend with me, and if you cannot access it then just follow me, and if you
It. That's
you
it.
better be able to follow you if not, we going to Meta. It ain't that far.
I mean, Diana said, "Child in touch, just reach out and follow."
Come on now.
That's all,
Come on now.
and that's all. And I am Ronika, Ronnika .Williams on Instagram and Threads, and Ronika Williams on Facebook.
Let's get
But
it.
if you are looking for us, again, we're If You Know late night show, which is live on Thursday nights, and then they're uploaded Saturday by midnight.
Saturday morning.
Yep. Okay, on YouTube. and the Please Do Tell podcast. So if you're not watching us, I mean, you want to see facial expressions and all that whatnot, we are on YouTube as Please Do Tell podcast. But be sure to share with a homie, to share with a homie, to become a homie, because you can either subscribe, you can leave a comment, you can share, you can do so many things to make sure that you are putting this podcast in the ears and hearts and viewpoint of so many others. So, um,
Pass it
we
to somebody. Just send it in a in a in a
yeah,
in a
just
in a
send it.
text, even if you don't
Jeff
listen to it. They
Jeff
just gonna get back to
said,
you and say it was good.
"What did you do
Now you
last
don't
week?"
wanna listen.
Mhm, mhm. Before we go, Jeffrey, he talked about that's why I said you need to go back and listen to the last episode of Dear Mama, because Jeffrey talks about, movie night and how movie night was even created and just, like, the reach of movie night, and I feel like you used a little bit of that with doing Dear Mama of last week. You went back to your roots of, "Imma reach out and touch somebody. I know that they need to get this good story time, so Imma send it to them." So, I am also feeling like I need to do the same. I need to do it more often because you just never know who needs to hear that story at that
Absolutely.
time. So,
And it was crazy, look, one of the, people that used to come to movie night actually commented on YouTube about, "Man, I sure miss the movie nights," like,
yeah,
so
shout out to
it's a
BJ.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out
A
to
good
BJ.
time, a good time, a good time.
Yeah.
So, you all, whew, that is it for us. Until next time, Jeffrey.
Ronika,
What up?
have your people call my people.
Okay, and then, we'll just holler.
Alright.
Bye, y'all.